ladies, welcome back to my channel. So I want to talk about the Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo situation at the BAFTA Awards because I think it's important to remind Black women that you need to preserve your energy and save your outrage for things that actually matter. As a backstory, Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were presenting an award, and in the middle of them presenting that award, activist John Davidson yelled out the N-word in the middle of the speech. And that sparked a lot of outrage because for a number of reasons. Number one, Black people felt like John blurted out that word because he wanted to, and that he used his Tourette's, his disability, as an excuse to say how he really felt. And for those who are not familiar, Tourette's is a neurodevelopmental disorder that involves involuntary repetitive movements and vocalizations called tics. And sometimes those tics can be sudden, brief, or like intermittent sounds, blinking, head jerking. And sometimes it also involves yelling out obscenities. And so oftentimes, like, the tic will be unfortunately something that is obscene, something that could be offensive. And in this situation, John yelled the N-word at Michael B. Jordan and Delroy because they are both Black men. People were also outraged because the BBC chose to air that segment of the award show instead of cutting it out the way that they did in the past with a similar situation where John also yelled a homophobic slur against actor Alan Cumming, during the award show some years back. And so they were like, okay, well, how come you were able to cut that out, but you couldn't cut out John yelling the N-word? And this is for a number of reasons, and I'll talk about that later. But I just wanted to address the whole, John was saying that as an excuse to just say the N-word. I think that just comes from just a general ignorance that still exists in the Black community as it pertains to disabilities, where they're like, well, how come he couldn't choose to say another word? Why did he feel the need to say the N-word? And while I'm sure Michael B. Jordan and Delroy were embarrassed, and other Black people who were in the audience, I highly doubt that John would want to put his reputation and career at risk by choosing to yell a highly offensive word just because he felt like it. He could have just said it under his breath. He could have just waited till he got home to use that obscenity in the privacy of his own home, like many people do. But the fact that he knew that it was a possibility that he would blurt something out, this is something that you can't control. Sometimes people with Tourette's, like, they'll feel an aura before they have a tic or before they say something. And sometimes, like, that, if they're able to, that'll prompt them to just leave the room altogether. But it's not like it's a thought that they can just swallow or, keep their mouth shut. It's literally at the neurological level. So that means that it's involuntary. It's something that it's almost like a knee-jerk reaction that just happens on its own before you even have time to process what your brain is doing. And so I think that's just a general ignorance where Black people, and I understand the history as to why Black people would be offended by this word, especially at the hands of a white man. But I think that, like, you really have to look at the facts here and first of all understand how this disability works for you to then understand why it's absurd for him, for you to think that he would just go ahead and use that as an excuse of all the times and places that this man has been, why he would choose this award ceremony that's supposed to be a positive occasion for all in attendance, why he would choose to show his ass, so to speak, and call two Black men that he doesn't know and therefore has no beef with the N-word in front of everybody. And again, like, as I mentioned before, he yelled a homophobic slur at Alan Cumming a couple years ago. He also met Queen Elizabeth, the late Queen Elizabeth, some time ago, and he yelled "F the Queen" to her face. And, I'm pretty sure he knew the risk associated with being in a high stress situation, such as meeting the Queen. Being in a high stress situation often causes the tics to manifest. I want to encourage Black women to save your outrage because even though the N-word is a racially charged word against Black people, you need to save your outrage, because not only did this situation not happen to you, and I know that a lot of Black women think that if it happens to one Black person, that means it happens to all. But this happened to someone who actually doesn't really care for you. So you need not internalize this. John went on and apologized for the tick. I need more Black women to put themselves first by preserving your energy and letting people who do not really care for you, people who do not choose you, letting them fight their own battles, and letting Michael B. Jordan in this situation take care of himself as a grown man. And I know that a lot of Black women are outraged, not because it happened and they're actually offended, but because it happened to Michael B. Jordan. Because I hear a lot of people talking about, a lot of Black women in particular, talking about Michael B. Jordan's experience and not so much Delroy Lindo's experience as well. It could be because Michael B. Jordan is the bigger, more well-known actor, and so people are naturally going to want to hear his side of the story over Delroy's. It just is what it is. But I think that this is just Black women, another example of Black women caping for other people who they hope will in turn one day see them and return the same treatment that they give out. And in this case, Black women are caping for Michael B. Jordan. Like, how dare you speak about my man like that? And how dare you with hopes that one day Michael B. Jordan's going to say, you know what? Like, Black women, you've held it down for me all this time. You know, you're my number one fans. I recognize that finally. And I'm going to start exclusively dating Black women from now on. That's why Black women are outraged. And I'm here to tell you, babes, that it's not going to happen. That man does not prefer Black women. And Michael B. Jordan and any other man, they're allowed to choose whatever the hell and whoever the hell they want to date. But just like with every other group, you need to be a self-preservationist and learn how to work in your best interest. It doesn't mean that you need to slander Michael B. Jordan and say, haha, you deserved it. It just means that you need to learn how to preserve your energy and keep it for things that directly benefit you. And being outraged in this situation does not benefit you at all. John did not say Black women are X, Y, and Z. Black women are N-words, blah, blah, blah. He literally yelled I shouldn't laugh because I honestly thought it was funny, and I know people are going to be offended by me thinking that, but he literally yelled the N-word at two Black men who have absolutely nothing to do with you. And I'm sure it's not his first time seeing Black people either. I've never heard of John making derogatory remarks towards Black women as a tick. And so, you know, maybe if that was a situation, then I can understand the outrage. But he had that tick, whatever it was about Delroy and Michael B. Jordan that triggered and caused him to have that neurological reaction. But you having outrage for Michael B. Jordan's behalf is not going to make Michael B. Jordan cape for you, and it's sure as hell not going to make Michael B. Jordan prefer you. So laugh about it, don't have an opinion about it, but stop being outraged and putting your emotional labor towards someone who has made it clear that he doesn't fuck with you like that. There was a time when I remember, like, I think it was like 2018 or sometime before the pandemic, when Michael B. Jordan was seen and like on vacation on a number of occasions with women, and not one of those women was a Black woman. They were all white women. And I remember people calling that out and saying, to the point, like making a big stink. Black women made a big stink about it, to the point that Michael B. Jordan addressed it on a number of platforms. There was this one, I can't remember the name of the media outlet that did it, but they went around to celebrities' houses and asked them 72 questions. And they were like, oh, what's one of the biggest misconceptions about you? And he was like, oh, that I don't like Black women. Like the fact that he felt the need to bring that up as part of the segment and then address it in other media outlets means that it was such a big deal that he felt the need to address it. And he also addressed it by dating Lori Harvey shortly after. And to my understanding, Lori Harvey is the only Black woman that he has publicly claimed. And as gorgeous as Lori Harvey is, we love Lori Harvey over here, he likely dated her mainly to take the heat off of him being criticized for not being seen with a Black woman. Okay, it was simply just a publicity stunt. People are saying that he actually really did like her. And Honestly, for the length of time that they were together, he probably did actually have real feelings for her, because if you're just with someone as a publicity stunt to clean up your image, you're not gonna. I think they were together. Let me see. How long were they together? Okay, that was a pretty basic standard time. They were together for approximately a year and a half, which is whatever. And apparently there were rumors that Michael B. Jordan wanted to marry her. Like, he was spotted with her family and blah, blah, blah. And the relationship ended because Lori ended it. He probably started out dating her with the intention that he could be like, see, like, shut up, like, here's a black woman, I'm with a black woman, and now you can be quiet about it. Now you don't have to question my loyalty to black women. And it was very important that he did that, because let's face it, black women were the ones who built his career. Black women were the ones who put him on the map. Like, from his time on being on The Wire to Fruitvale Station, it was black women who were drooling over him and saying, oh my gosh, he's so fine, and look at this guy, and let's support him. Especially during Black Panther, when he played that guy Killmonger, like, black women helped him blow up. And so it's in his best interest from a PR standpoint to make sure that he appeases his main fan base by publicly dating a woman that looks like him. And honestly, he didn't even date someone who looks like most of his fan base. Most of y'all who are upset don't even look like Lori Harvey. So all the more reason for you not to care, to be honest. Again, this is not your fight. And again, it's not a slight on Lori Harvey, because Lori's a baddie, and I honestly was like, Lori girl, you could have done so much better. Like, why are you dating Michael B. Jordan? But he specifically chose to date someone who looks like her. And to be honest, for you who are butthurt about this situation and you know that you don't look like Lori Harvey at all, that's as black as it's gonna get. So normalize turning a blind eye and remaining silent when things happen to others who don't like you, or who quite frankly wouldn't have the same outrage. Because if it was two black women up there and John yelled the N-word at, black men would be laughing at it. They sure as hell wouldn't be talking about activism and we need to protect black women at all costs. Black women are the most disrespected. As a matter of fact, they'd probably be joining in on the jokes, because we know how much black men like to be the ringleaders and bullying black women online. You would not be getting the same energy if the situation happened to you, to a black female actress. In this day and age, especially, where there's just so much turmoil and conflict going around in the country, in the world, you need to preserve your energy for becoming the best version of yourself and laying low. Because even though this happened as a result of someone's disability, as I've mentioned in previous videos, especially at the beginning of 2025, when I released that video on how to survive a Trump administration, that video is now a part of my membership. So if you're interested in seeing it, you can go ahead and join the membership and watch it there. There's a growing number of people who will be hurling the N-word in response to black fatigue, like I've mentioned before. And this is going to continue for the foreseeable future, as we have shifted towards a less liberal and less politically correct era. Okay, being politically correct is very quickly going out the window. More and more people are yelling the N-word and they mean it. They're not yelling the N-word because they have Tourette's. They're yelling it because they felt like it, because some black person pissed them off and they want to let you know they're pissed. You're starting to hear more Islamophobic. I can't even say Islamophobic. You're starting to hear more people not give a damn about being called Islamophobes anymore. They are speaking out against how they feel about Muslim people. You're starting to hear more people not give a damn about the LGBTQ community anymore. Like, people are tired about political correctness and people, quite frankly, behaving poorly and then hiding behind whatever ism that they were able to hide behind 5 years ago and get away with. People are sick and tired of it now. And one of those, an example of that is more and more people using the N-word. You're starting to see that in comment sections on platforms that will allow them to say the N-word without being censored. And you're starting to see that more online, just in everyday interactions. Like that woman in New York that was being berated by a group of black girls for whatever reason. And of course, she conveniently waited until the very last minute before the doors closed so they couldn't jump her at that moment. But when the doors were closing, she yelled N-word, and then that was that. And that white girl doesn't give a damn. Apparently she was arrested, but before that or after that, I'm not sure. She's making videos about it, doubling down, saying that she doesn't give a damn, and people are supporting her. And you're gonna continue to see more and more like this. So again, Black women, you need to show up as the best version of yourself if you want to be protected from harassment like this. And mind you, people are not harassing you and yelling out the N-word because they just want to berate Black women. They're, again, doing it in response to bad behavior. So if you are behaving like a normal, rational human being, you have nothing to worry about for the most part. But if you're a Black woman who shows up, you're minding your own business, you're contributing meaningfully to society, you're not being a stereotype, you're good. Preserve your energy for that. Preserve your energy with the cost of living going up and layoffs continuing across many sectors. Preserve your energy in up-leveling your skills so that you can get a better paying job and get a job in a more competitive niche field. Preserve your energy for losing weight. Preserve your energy for keeping your cortisol levels low so that, you won't gain a bunch of weight and have a bunch of health issues. And just continue to live your best life. And to my earlier point, I also think that part of the segment was not cut out because people don't give a damn anymore. People don't care about being politically correct. They don't care about sensitivity, whatever, which is why I believe the BBC did not cut out that segment. They could have gone back. I don't know if it's gone now on recordings, but they could have immediately been like, oh, shoot, make sure you cut that out. Because it's not the first time in television history where people have acted the fool. And I'm talking about people who don't have disabilities. People who don't have disabilities who act up on camera and, they had to issue an apology. They had to, whenever there's a rerun of that situation, they'll say, the following program may have some scenes that could be upsetting or distressing. Like they'll have some sort of disclaimer at the very least if they're not able to cut it out, or they will do their very best to cut out that portion. They didn't do none of that. They came out like a week later and apologized because at this point in society, people think that asking for forgiveness is better than asking for permission. People are not afraid of being called prejudiced, racist, sexist, whatever-ist anymore. And that's evident in the BBC not cutting out that. They pretty much said, we don't give a damn what happened. We think it's funny. And we're just going to say sorry, yep. And then, people's attention is going to be geared towards something else that's going to happen in history. So those are my thoughts on the topic. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.